Get.
Let's appreciate him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Seki dance, derived from an African word, but driving the celebration in the Niger Delta across the 9 states. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present here one of the finest politicians on the continent of Africa. He's a proud son of the Niger Delta. He's a chairman here today. His politics is devoid of toxins. He's a gentleman's gentleman. He's an intellectual. He's patriotic. He's a nationalist. He's an asset to Niger Delta, to Nigeria, and to the continent. And we are very happy that he used to be the president of this country. It is my pleasure to welcome here His Excellency President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Chisefa, our chairman here today.
Let me especially appreciate the presence of the Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is here represented by the Senate President, our own Godswill Akpabio. And let me also appreciate the presence of the Senate President himself in his capacity as the Senate President. We have to congratulate him because after the late wires, he is the second person the Niger is producing as the Senate President. So thank you for coming to lead us today. Other senators are here with us and members of the National Assembly, deputy governors and their representatives. Let me appreciate the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta and other Honorable Ministers that are here with us in this ceremony. Let me appreciate our own father, the father of the day, Chief E.K. Clark, who is here being represented by my good friend, most distinguished Senator. Thank you. The Chairman of the Governing Board of NDDC, the Managing Director, and other management staff of the NDDC, and top government functionaries here with us. Let me sincerely appreciate the presence of the Chief of Defense Staff for coming in person to attend this ceremony. Thank you. Our royal fathers that are here with us. Our other traditional rulers are here with us. Our clergymen and women, our various youth leaders. Let me appreciate all of you. I am really delighted to join other stakeholders from the Niger Delta and other participants from across the country at this special Niger Delta Stakeholders Summit. I thank the management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, led by the Chairman, Chiedu Ebe, and the Managing Director and CEO, Chief Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, for giving us the opportunity to come today to interrogate the issues of the Niger Delta. I commend them for their commitment to the development of the Niger Delta and their forthright leadership so far in pursuit of their mandate. As an interventionist agency for the oil-producing states, the NDDC holds the mandate of bringing development closer to the people and fostering hope and peace by way of inclusive governance. To our people in the region, NDDC came as a child of necessity whose strategic role is to improve the environment, provide infrastructure, and enhance the livelihood of the people in the region. And of course, we know before NDDC, there are a number of agencies that were set up by the federal government when the seat of government was even in Lagos. The one well known was the 1% derivation fund. But all these attempts to improve the quality of life and infrastructure of the Niger Delta didn't see the light of the day because we didn't see anything. Then came UMPADEC, led by Chief A.K. Hosfall, where I worked as an assistant director. When UMPADEC came on board, there was some vision. There were activities. There was a clear leadership. But it didn't last long. And UMPADEC got into a situation where it became comatose for so many years before the birth of the NDDC. Of course, I have to thank members of the National Assembly, the first set in this dispensation, 1999, that came up with the law establishing the NDDC. Those who knew much about the NDDC know how powerful the National Assembly of Nigeria is. They were even more powerful than the president. And NDDC was formed. The first leadership of NDDC, led by Onyema Ogochukwu as the chairman of the board, and Chief Timi Alaibe, who was the executive director of finance and administration and later became the MD, shows some clear leadership. And it appears as if the Niger Delta was moving to some direction. But after that leadership, I think the Niger Delta NDDC then got involved into too many, let me say, we the politicians took over the NDDC and their progress was slowed down. The activities were slowed down. And people started feeling that the impact of this agency was not well noticed. But with the birth of this current leadership, people from the Niger Delta have seen some light. It's not because they have brought me here. I also listened to the beginning of this conversation on Wednesday that it was opened. And I've heard our sons and daughters, key stakeholders from the Niger Delta, interrogating the issues. I also listened to people like Chief Jasper Jumbo and others. And I was impressed that they are taking a different look at the Niger Delta. For them to gather all of us, including people like me, who are no longer involved in active politics, to have conversation on the Niger Delta show clearly that the current leadership intends to move the NDDC to a proper direction. And that's why some of us decided to come and encourage them. What I will request is for us who are the political class not to overstress the NDDC, so that they can perform. And I'm lucky Goodluck is here himself. He's our most senior politician. He has to work with others so that the NDDC is not put under too much of stress. And I know what I'm talking about. For the NDDC, We're happy with the way you've started, and we hope you will continue in those strides. Having given me the opportunity to chair this opening ceremony, let me use this opportunity to mention one or two things that I think is a look at it. And I know you're already looking at it. The issue of abandoned project is one of the greatest problems of the NDDC. I'm very happy that before coming here, within this period that I've been invited to be here, I heard the MD who spoke on the abandoned projects and promised the people of the Niger Delta that issue of abandonment of projects will not be accommodated by this administration. So we have to encourage you to do that. Another thing that I believe the NDDC should look at it is that projects that, especially infrastructure projects that were done by the NDDC, sometimes they abandon the project. And instead of those projects being looked at as a worthy contribution of the NDDC to the area, people look at it as a cost. For example, road projects that were completed and being used, of course, our terrain we all know. Sometimes this road project deteriorate to a level that vehicles can no longer move. So NDDC must have a way to manage the infrastructure they complete. There are two ways to do that. They can, on their own, continue to maintain their roads. And everybody who lives within that area will know that this is what NDDC has contributed to the area. Alternatively, they could meet with the governors, and a road that is dear to the state, they can construct and donate it to the state. In that case, the state will take over the maintenance of the road. But where NDDC builds a road, and within handing over that road to the state and just abandoning the road is not the best. So these are areas that NDDC should look at it. The next thing I believe is oil. We are here because we produce oil. But everybody knows that the fossil fuel, hydrocarbons, the future is so bleak. It may dry up, just like the Olobri oil field dried up. Or even if we still have it, the global environmental politics may stop exploitation of the fossil fuels one day. And therefore, the Niger Delta should begin to see how they will start building a Niger Delta without hydrocarbons. We must prepare our young people and our children for a Niger Delta without hydrocarbon. There are so many ways to do it, and I admire the competence of the key actors in the NDDC. One thing is about education. And the NDDC has been giving scholarships. I know that. I think they have to strengthen that aspect very well. Let our youth be well educated and acquire skills so that they can work anywhere in the world. The next is industrialization, which NDDC cannot do it directly. If they attempt to do it directly, they will fail. I'm also suggesting that giving loans to industrialists, which is very risky, because when we are in Nompadec, we had a directorate that did that, and the payment was very poor. But NDDC can work with agencies of government that have been managing loans properly, like the Bank of Industry. If they work with these agencies and they provide the funds for the people of the Niger Delta to access, I believe it will improve the industrialization of the Niger Delta. Agric, I remember when Timmy Alaibe was there too. I remember they tried to intervene in agriculture, but I think it was not successful. That is the key area that we need to. But the management is complex. If you give agric loans, repayment of agric loans in the country is very, very poor. And that's why even the Bank of Agriculture is not doing well. But those who are really serious in agriculture could be given assistance in form of grants, but not cash. Should be in form of inputs, but not the portfolio farmers. It must be people who are really doing farming. And I believe that the leadership of the NDDC, the chairman and the board, the MD, the executive directors, and senior staff are presently focused. And I believe that if they go on this way, they will make all of us happy. As the chairman, I'm not to give a keynote speech. There are other people that will give keynote speeches. My duty is just to greet you and formally declare the conversation open. I thank you all.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Can we put our hands together for him as he steps down now? Thank you.